Welcome, I'm Wild Child, and I'll be taking you through Heroic Twin Ogron with United Anarchy. This fight has a 9-minute Hardened Rage and is a raid awareness fight. You'll end up having to stack, spread, stack on the boss, avoid fire, watch your feet. There's no room to lose people to mechanics for this fight because of the enrage timer, so it's all about learning the rhythm. For this boss, we brought 2 tanks, 5 healers, 5 melee, and 11 ranged. We started the fight with the range stacked on their healing collapse point. It's important to have a point that everybody goes back to for heals throughout the fight. Tanks need to keep the bosses together unless Phemos is about to whirlwind, which we'll talk about in a bit, and DPS should be cleaving whenever possible. They do share health, so it doesn't matter which one you're on at the moment, but try to cleave when you can. As the bosses gain energy throughout the fight, they use different abilities that the raid needs to be aware of. So we're going to walk through each ability real quick. At this point in the fight, Pol has hit 100 energy, and he's about to cast Pulverize. Pulverize means that all players need to spread out 3 yards to avoid damage from each other. Then they need to watch the ground for the brown swirls that indicate little rocks falling, like right there. Anyone within 8 yards of the rock will be damaged. Right after the little rocks, a big rock will come up, as you can see in the big brown spot. Use any of your speed buffs to get away from it. The closer you are to the large swirling area, the more damage you're going to take. When Phemos hits 100 energy, he casts Quake, which is what you're seeing right now with all the fire. Phemos throws his weapons on the ground, which does raid-wide damage. During the Quake, the raid needs to stack up for heals right before the flames come out. That allows their healers to top them off before they have to go running for the hills. The flames move diagonally throughout the room. They don't just come straight at you, so it is really difficult to dodge these sometimes, so you may need to practice that a few times. While it's okay to take 1 or 2 stacks of fire if needed, more than that is going to kill you. Another thing to keep in mind is that our tank started calling out when the weapons landed in melee, to make sure our melee were aware and could get away from the weapons as quickly as possible, since the flames would be spawning there. Here you can see Pol has hit 33 energy and uses Shield Charge. He charges a random distant raid member, and usually this hits when the raid is stacked up for heals. So it's important to call this out and be aware which way Pol is facing so that you don't get run over. Phemos has hit 33 energy, which means he's going to be using Whirlwind. He spins for about 9 seconds and does damage to anyone in his range. If you're caught up in it, a player gets a stacking debuff that increases the amount of damage they take from Pol's Shield Bash, so it's important that both tanks are not hit by the Whirlwind. Here Phemos has hit 66 energy and casts Enfeebling Roar. He debuffs all the players within 20 yards to take 300% increased damage for 300 seconds, split between all the players. So that means that you want your entire raid within 20 yards whenever he casts Enfeebling Roar. The last ability you need to worry about is at 66 energy, Pole does an Interrupting Shout. This one's really easy, just make sure you're calling it out and that nobody is casting during the Interrupting Shout. One thing I do want to mention is there's a point when Pulverize and Enfeebling Roar will happen at the same time. Keep in mind all raid members need to be within 20 yards of Femos, but 3 yards apart from each other so that they're not hit by Pulverize. If everyone stacks on the boss, the increased damage from the Pulverize will wipe the raid. So just to summarize, you want to stack before Quake for heals, dodge the fire, spread out for Pulverize, avoid the brown circles on the ground, get as far away from the large brown circle as you can, stack on Femos for Enfeebling Roar, don't cast during Interrupting Shout, avoid Whirlwind, and avoid Shield Charge. Ta-da! You win! Thank you for watching Heroic Twin Ogron with United Anarchy.